But let me tell ya, right? I'm in the crib chilling, and I'm hearing the door, boom, 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 boom. Somebody's knocking. What the fuck? Mind you, by that time, I already know this. I had a crazy ex, all that extra shit.
Her husband was sucking dick. My client Tina reached out because she was conflicted. Although she was married, she had met a man who made her thrive on sight. Nate?
Let me tell y'all about this time I thought I had a friend. So during this time, I was in nursing school. And when you're in nursing school, the girls that you are in school with, you pretty much, those become your friends. Like you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's story time is an absolute wild one. We're doing a compilation of different stories, and trust me, you do not want to miss this. If you're new here, welcome. All I ask is that you subscribe and drop a like on this video. It really helps me out. Okay, that's enough for me. Let's get into it.
But let me tell ya, right? I'm in the crib chilling, and I'm hearing the door, boom, 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 boom. Somebody's knocking. What the fuck? Mind you, by that time, I already know this. I had a crazy ex, all that extra shit. So I'm thinking it's him, so I grab my strap. So I go to the door. I check. I see it's one of my sneaky links. Mind you, we was no contact, me and this nigga. So I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga here? So I open the door. I'm thinking like he over here, like yo, like he gonna I'm gonna open the door. He gonna be like, you know what, like you really love my life, like on some cute shit. But no, I open the door, bitch. This nigga got a crazy black eye. He's like, yo, your ass just called me like it, do all that extra shit, right? So I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So I'm like, yo, come on, let's go to my room so you can tell me about it. Like, what's up? So he over here telling me what happened, but mind you, I'm just sitting there like, all right. Like, you feel me? Like, you should have been ready. You always gotta stay ready. Like, you see, that's not mainly about you. That's why I don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. So he's telling me about little by little, like, I'm making my way closer, and I'm consoling him, and I'm, like, rubbing him, like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I'm mad he did that to you. Like, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? From 1 minute to the other, mom, cracked. You feel me? Sent him back home. I'm like, yo, oh, you feel me, before it gets dark outside. Because if it's one thing about me, I don't know, after I crack, like, I don't be wanting to lay up. Like, go home, bro. That ass, I don't know. I'm weird. So, after he left, I called my ex. I'm like, yo, you did all that for nothing. Because he just got cracked again. We was no contact. You just let that nigga right back to me. And I told her, I'm like, yo, every time you do some dumb shit like that, where you want to put hands on niggas because of me, I'm gonna crack them again. This is my life. You have no control over me, bro. Like, that's it. You lost me forever. This ain't no sweet shit no more. I'm about to show you why I'm my daddy's fucking daughter, nigga. Stop playing with me.
Her husband was sucking dick. My client Tina reached out because she was conflicted. Although she was married, she had met a man who made her thrive on sight. Nate was a new transfer to her job, and every time she saw him, her kitty got to thriving. She was happily married for over 20 years, so she didn't understand why she was having such a reaction to this man. Tina and I had already had a couple of conversations, but whenever it came to her marriage, she shied away, and I didn't push. So as Tina is telling me why she's so perplexed, one of her ancestors says, I don't know why she's so confused. This man has her ready to come on herself on sight, and she's been married to Jerry for 20 years, and he's never given her an orgasm. She better ride that horse. The ancestor goes on to tell me, ask her how many times has she forgiven her husband for cheating. Yet she remains faithful. So I say, Tina, I see you've been in multiple third-party relationships. Tell me more. Tina says, yeah, Jerry's cheated on me a few times, but I'm not worried about any of them taking them from me because he never makes me come, so I know he's not making them come. So I say, so why you stay? She said, I love him. And we made a vow in front of the pastor, God, the church, our family, and I can't just walk away. So Tina and I have been working on unpacking religious trauma in our previous calls. So I asked her, I said, so if he was to cheat on you today, how would you feel? She goes on to say, oh, I would leave his ass. I say, okay, good. Then I asked Tina, I say, hey, when you go to church, does Jerry go with you? She said, yeah, he be there more than I do. That ancestor chimes in again and says, well, he's on a prowl again, looking for a new mistress. He's looking for something to go up his butt and down his throat. Now, this is never an easy deliver. No matter how much trust I build with the client, when it comes to having to tell them that they man like dick, it's always a problem. So I asked her, I said, do you know the people that Jerry was cheating on you with? She goes, yeah. It was a couple of ladies from church, a couple of my kids' teachers, and some people in the neighborhood. I say, wow, that's a lot of people. She said, yeah, but it's also a rumor that it was a man, but I never believed any of that. I tell her, I said, well, the ancestor did say, he does like men too. Tina goes, I want to believe you and all the rumors, but I've seen no evidence of that. I say, okay, well, you could have been looking, but not in the right places. But I already know you. You got to see it with your own eyes to believe it. She says, yes, I do. And I let her know, I said, well, prepare your heart, because I'm about to tell you to do something that's kind of wild. She say, okay, Miss Luna, I asked for it, so I guess you about to give it to me. I said, I remembered that his birthday was coming up. I said, ask him for a threesome. Tell him, you want to give him a threesome for his birthday. He's been such a good husband. You want to treat him and you'll let him pick the partner. I tell her, give him no guidance. Tell him whoever he wants, you will oblige. The ancestor says he gonna pick that big dick boy from the men's ministry. I said, okay, now, he is gonna most likely pick a man. I need you to be prepared for that and prepared to go with it since you gotta see it. We set a follow-up call for 3 months because his birthday was in like 2 months. We end the call, and about 2 months later, I get an email. All it said was, this motherfucker sucked dick better than I do. I need you to call me, Miss Luna. But at that time, I was out the country. Y'all know I like to spend a few weeks out of the country a couple of times a year. I was able to move her appointment up about 2 weeks for when I got home. It's time for the call. Before I can even call her, she was calling me. She said, okay, you ready, Miss Luna? I said, I'm ready. But are you ready? She said, girl, I'm ready. Let's go. She says they were sitting over dinner, and he says, so I found the person I think I want to have a threesome with. I want you to get some enjoyment out of it too. So I picked Daryl. Daryl is this, as the ancestor said, the big dick boy from the men's ministry. I already asked him, and he would be more than happy to join us in the bedroom. That's when Tina let him know, oh no, we're not doing this here. We're going to a nice hotel to do it. You're not bringing nobody in my house. They agreed. The night after his birthday, they went to the Westin. And just for reference and clarification, I'm saying the word boy, but that's just because Tina and Jerry were 42 and Daryl was like 28 or 29. She said, we get down to fucking, me and Daryl was kissing and he taking me to Pound Town. Girl, he's giving me the longest strokes I have ever had in my life. I came 2-3 times and I was very happy. I had warned her that her husband liked men, so she thought he was going to penetrate him. That's not what happened. She says her husband pulls Daryl out of her and proceeds to take him in whole. And yes, he did swallow. He says he then turns around, gets Daryl back up, and starts bouncing on top of Daryl, expertly, without no problems. She says she was so shocked they had finished and was dozing off, and she was just sitting on the corner of the bed with her mouth open. She says she don't know how many hours passed, but the sun started to rise when she started to come back to reality. The things that came to Tina's mind the most was, first, the fact that this man gave her multiple orgasms when her husband never could. Then, the fact that her husband gave someone else multiple orgasms. And lastly, her husband can take dick. She said after that interaction, she couldn't speak for over a week. Every time she went to say something, nothing would come out. She was in shock. She said then she got pissed. She got real angry because he's sitting up here living a lie. So then they started to argue. And she said she just went off because he was living a lie. He was keeping her in bondage while keeping himself in bondage. She said some of the most hurtful things to him, and he said some of the most hurtful things to her. After they argued, she cried and cried and cried. But as always, the sun came out, and she had the realization that everything she was doing it out of obligation and not following her heart. And that's what we have been working on. Her going after her goals, her going after her dreams, and choosing herself. So as we talked some more, we realized that she didn't know what she truly wanted. She just knew what she was obligated to do. So she still had her original appointment scheduled with me. So I told her, I gave her some homework. I said, over the next 2 weeks, I want you to think about what you desire, what you want, what you crave. And then we're going to do some witchcraft. I'm going to get you exactly what you want. A couple of weeks go past and I say, okay, Tina, what you want? She says, I want to reconnect with my sister. I chose my husband over her and I want to reconnect with her. She goes on to say, I thought my husband was my best friend, but clearly he wasn't. I don't care that he's gay. I care that he lied to me for so long and was not honest about who he was. She says, I want Jerry to go away. I want him out of my life, but I want all his pension and I want most of the money in the bank accounts. She says, in my career, I want to move up to the point where I only got to come into the office once or twice a week. She says, and lastly, I want you to do divination on me and Nate. That's the coworker. She said, because there's something there. There's something real. I know it. I can feel it. I can smell it. I can taste it. There's something there and it's something real. I say, okay, but as I'm doing the divination, her ancestor pops back in and says, hey, everything she wants, she already got. Her sister prays that she reaches out to her. She sits at the ancestor altar, gives offerings and prays for her. The job will come. She just has to give offerings. Then she says, as far as Jerry goes, asks about the video she recorded. I say, Tina, what's this video you recorded? She started laughing and said, I wasn't going to say nothing, but we had decided to record our encounter and before things went left. I say, well, that's your way in, but just in case, I'm going to give you my make you my bitch ritual. And then I gave her the list of offerings that her ancestors were requesting and walked her through how to create an ancestor altar. We end the call and I told her this is going to take some time, but I gave her all the steps she had to do and told her she will be fine. She always sends me little life updates, but it's been about a year. She got the job she wanted. Her and her sister are locked in, best friends again. Her divorce is final and she got way more than she even asked for. And her and Nate are engaged and are planning their destination wedding.
So, story time on how TikTok pretty much snitched on my ex, and now I'm in a U-Haul, as you can see. So, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible, even though there is no way to, shorten it. This was, I want to say, it was a few weeks ago. It was a Saturday. We were going to go painting Saturday night. We were going to go paint, it was a paint and sip type of event. And usually, I think he was starting to work Saturday nights, and he asked for it off. I don't even remember at this point. I just know that was going to happen that day. So we were going to go painting. He asked for the day off, and all was good. We were actually doing pretty good. We had our issues, and I think I definitely was already checked out. I was definitely checked out all the way, but I don't know. You kind of make it work, and we were doing pretty fine. No arguments, no nothing, except for the occasional, I'm not even gonna talk about it. But, we were doing fine. I was pretty excited. I was like, yay, we're gonna go painting. Something I really wanted to do because he liked going out in different ways. And because I'm on medication, I can't be doing shit like that. So, he was like, okay, fine. We were having a lot of disagreements. We were gonna do painting. Whatever. So, Saturday morning, I wake up, and it's 11 a.m., and I'm on my daily TikTok scroll, and I get a notification that says, oh, you might know this person. So I click it, and I'm going to add screenshots, too. So I click the profile because, one, it says shared with you at the bottom. But he's the only person that shares stuff with me. And also, I never followed him on my page or anything. We didn't follow each other, so he was the first one, always was the first one in my recommended, and he was the only one that had the shared with you tag or whatever, and so I was like, this is very, very weird, but okay. So then also the name was Gato6767, which, if you don't know, obviously 67, me and my son, that's all we fucking say, and then Gato was his nickname, apparently, in El Salvador, so I don't know whether that's true or not, but I know that's what he told me. So, back to what I was talking about, I got immediately that I was suspicious. I was like, and it was glowing blue. So I was like, this is funny. So I end up clicking the profile, and it had 0 followers. It was there was nothing on the account. It was 0 followers, and they were following one person. Guess who the person was? his torta ass fucking ex. So at this point, I'm like, oh, okay, this is funny. I already know this is gonna be something today. And I click the story, and it is a black screen. I think it's a black screen. And it says, Yamame, basically, like, call me, and then it has, like, a number. It was a 279 number, which I was like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck? So then I go to iMessage, because I was curious. I'm at this point, I'm very suspicious. Because everything points to, you know, it doesn't, but it does, if you know what I mean. So, fuck, I have to fucking turn. However, I go on iMessage to, like, text the number, and it's green. And not even green, because I know Apple started doing this thing where, like, if they have an Android, it'll just say text message, but it'll be green. It was green, and there was nothing. So I was like, oh, you're on a fucking fake, you're on a text app, and I'm not fucking stupid, because, bitch, I've been there. So, yeah, so I was just like, okay, I see what we're doing. So now, the more I'm looking into this, the more I'm like, he thinks I'm fucking stupid. So then I found that out, I downloaded a text app, I create a number, and I text the number, and I was like, hey, like, when am I gonna see you? Like, ¿cuándo te voy a ver? You know? And they text back. He said quién eres, but the way that he spelled quién, he is the only person that I personally, like, know that spells it the way that he did. He spells it with a K. I don't know if, like, a lot of people do that, but he's the only person I know that does it like that. And so I have screenshots too. It's so funny. So then I'm like, immediately, I'm like, oh, this is him. Because I went into our chats, and it's the same exact way. I'm like, this would really have to be a fucking coincidence for it to not be him. But I knew it was him. So then, I'm really curious, and I remembered in college, so I was thinking, at this point, fuck anything I was doing, because this immediately took out my fucking mind, and I was like, I'm not going painting today. I'm not going painting today. I'm going to fucking find out, and this is gonna be the end. So, because I'm tired. I was fed up. I'm so fed up. Like, it's not fair that I'm doing the work. Why are you not doing the work, you know? So, alright, so I wanted to finish my story because I'm not done. I am not done. And I will get, no, I'm kidding. But I am folding clothes, so I guess I'm not, like, I'm not distracted this time. Okay, so I know I left off. He texted quién eres, and it was the way that he spelled it. So now I was like, okay, I need to find a way to prove that it's him, like, that I can show him, because he's gonna deny it, like any fucking person would. So, yeah. So I was like brainstorming, and I hate to say it, but when I have time, and it's not pretty. And so I was thinking of, like, damn, like, how can I get this motherfucker? And then I realized I learned how to pull IP addresses in college, so I'm going to do that. I kind of, like, Google, like, a refresher, because it's been quite a while. But yeah, I get on the website that I use. I put in, you know, the URL of his ex-girlfriend's profile, which is, like, the only account that they follow anyways, URL code or link, and then I sent the link to him through the text app that I made. And first, like, I tried it on my other phone, because I have, like, fucking, like, 10 phones that I don't use anymore, and I never fucking trade them in or anything, so I just have, like, a whole bunch of dead-ass phones. And so I was able to get onto one, log into Wi-Fi, you know. So then I knew it was going to be the same IP address as mine, because it doesn't pull your device IP address, it pulls your router or your network. And some people are fucking stupid, fucking idiots, and don't realize, like, I'm not fucking stupid. I'm sorry, like. So yeah. So I copy it. He clicks the link maybe 5 minutes later, because at first I was like, damn, he didn't even click it, because he had texted back. But when I refreshed the page, it showed, like, nobody had clicked the link yet. So I'm like, damn, this shit doesn't work. And then I clicked, like, 10 minutes later. Guess what? Yeah. He was working in Folsom, and it pinged in El Dorado Hills. Same IP address as mine. Also, he was paying for my phone line, and it shows the device it's on, and it shows the device it's on, it shows the, like, phone carrier or, like, the network, which was, like, T-Mobile, and then your IP address number from, like, the router. which is gonna be the same as mine because we live in the same fucking house. So, yeah. Wasn't very smart. He clicked the link. Probably wanted to follow and couldn't even follow because he already followed her, so. So then I'm like, okay, now I need to get on it, like, on the account. Okay, I am so sorry. My excuse is I am moving, so I'm so sorry. But part 2 is here. So I believe I left off at, I had got his IP address, and I got the IP address. It pinged in El Dorado Hills, which is like literally a town away from, so I'm guessing probably like the cell tower that they use in Folsom probably is the one located in like El Dorado Hills or something. I don't fucking know. But I realized, I was like, this isn't happening. We're not going painting. And I was gonna wait for him to, well, he was working at the time, so I waited for him to get home. Keep in mind, I knew this already. Like for like 4 hours, I literally was like I can't wait till he gets home. I was anticipating it. But yeah, so oh, I can't believe he called me no caller ID right now. Yeah, he doesn't even know that I know this. Like, to him, I need to stop fucking going on. Anyways, so he comes home. Fast forward, he comes home. I'm doing everything in my power not to fucking say anything because I feel like if something is wrong with me, you will tell. You will definitely, I can't hide it. I wish I could, but I can't. So he comes home, he's all lovey-dovey, and I'm just going along with it as much as I can, you know? And then we are sitting in my room, and he's telling me about his day at work. Now, again, I'm in my head, I'm like, I'm like orchestrating how I'm gonna do this, because again, this is it. Like, I already know, and I just needed to go on his phone and see for myself. So at this point, anything he's saying is like going in through one ear, coming out the other. Like, I literally, it just sounded like fucking, I don't know. It's so crazy. So, he's telling me about his day. I'm going along with it. And because we were supposed to go painting later that day, I go, hey babe, like, I wasn't able to get the tickets on my phone. Can I use your phone? I need your phone. Like, give me your phone. And he kind of looked skeptical, but he gave it to me anyways. And I'm laying on the bed, and I have like a chair next to my bed, but like it's not facing the same direction so that he could see, you know? So I'm laying down. My phone is in this hand. His phone is in this hand. I'm literally like trying to keep a blank face while doing this because I was in like fucking FBI mode. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I did that. And so anyways, I have the phone as quickly as I can. Now I'm going to like tell you guys this happened. Everything I am about to tell you happened in a matter of like less than 2 minutes. So I don't know how, like, my mind moves fast, but like I don't know how I did that because I kind of like blacked out while I was doing it. I don't know. But I have the phone. I got the phone. He unlocked it because he did change his password. Or maybe I just have I have a really bad memory, so I don't know. But I had tried to go into his phone maybe a few days before, and password was changed. I don't know. And so I have the phone in my hand, and I open TikTok. TikTok is literally the first thing I open because I'm like, I'm gonna find it. So I open TikTok. It obviously opens his page up, but I was expecting that. Like, come on now. So then I go in to log into another account, and if you don't know, TikTok does this thing where if you log out recently of an account, it'll like log you back in, or like it'll save the info and you just click it and it just logs you back in. So I'm like, okay, there was an account, wasn't Gato6767, but it was Gabriel6767. So I'm like, so again, he's telling me about his day and I'm like, okay. So I click Gabriel, pulls up the account. Same thing as the last one, but they weren't following anybody. He wasn't following anybody on that account. And I looked up at like his search and everything, or like his blocked. That account had nothing. So I'm like, 6767, like, this is not no fucking coincidence. I'm going to get into the other account. So I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go into Gmail and I'm gonna see if it's like linked to one of his emails or something. So I don't know. And I go into Gmail, or at least I try to, and it's fucking deleted. Like, he deleted Gmail, the app, the whole app. Like, he deleted Gmail, and so I fucking go into the App Store, and I'm like, okay, I'm downloading Gmail. And I also I just typed in like text free or text now, and 2 apps were in the cloud already. So I downloaded those again, and Gmail downloaded fucking it almost immediately. So thank fucking God. And I go into the Gmail, and it completely, like, everything logs in, and I'm like, yes. So it logs in, and this is where shit starts to go down because I'm actively seeing this shit. So the first, how do I explain this? I know his like main email because of the paperwork I would help him out with, but it logged in immediately to this email that obviously I had no clue of. And the very first, actually the first few like notifications or whatever were his ex's username has sent you a message, and then it said like gato6767. So I'm like, oh, like that was all I needed. So then I'm like, I'm gonna log into that account now. It's connected to the email, so I'm going to log in so to see the messages or whatever. So keep in mind, he has no clue this is going on. He's literally right next to me on the fucking couch telling me, fucking going off. I don't know what the fuck he was talking. It was something about work, but he is there unaware, and I'm on his phone, and I have now found this out. So then I go on TikTok, and I go on TikTok, I log out, or I don't even log out of the Gabriel one, I just leave it on and I just try logging into gato6767. So then I reset the password. And obviously I put like send it to my email and it sent the link or whatever. I reset his password, which I don't have control over that account because he fucking changed it back. But anyways, so yes, if you search him up and you can text him right now, like that's all you guys. I don't know. Yeah, so I log in and I'm looking at the gato6767 account. And just reminding myself of this is so crazy. So I'm looking at the account and I go through the messages. It's literally only her. So I'm like, okay. So I go in. He's not even texting her. Like, she had replied to that story of the Yamame, but she was like, who are you? Since December, he had been texting this girl, his ex-girlfriend, trying to act as if he was his own friend. Like, catfishing her, basically. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. You guys can text him and, like, I don't know. But, so what's funny is that she doesn't even know. I mean, she probably knows now, the video, and she had me blocked, so I don't know. She'll probably see this, but that's so hilarious. Like, I don't know. So I look at the messages. She's confused as, like, who he is, and he's over there trying to, like, act like he's his own friend. And I'm like, that's embarrassing. That's literally embarrassing as hell. Like, whatever. So then, so I see that he's basically catfishing this girl. Oh, this is part 3, by the way. So if you didn't watch any of the other videos, you're gonna want to go and look for yourself. So yeah, back to what I was saying. I'm looking at the messages and of him like catfishing his fucking own ex-girlfriend. And I quite literally like am trying to hold myself together because yeah, it was I'm sure like it was probably showing in my face. I just didn't realize. But he's talking to me and I go, "Hey babe, how many TikTok accounts do you have?" And he goes, "Oh, just one." Literally so nonchalant, like, just one. And I'm like, "Oh, are you sure?" And then he kind of like sits there and thinks. And he's like, "Well, actually, I think I have one that I don't use at all. Like, it's just, there's nothing on it." But he's like, I'm not logged into it though. So I'm like, "Oh, are you sure?" And then he's like getting like skeptical and looking kind of worried. I wish I could have filmed that or something, you know? But yeah, so he starts looking worried and he goes, "Well, actually, no, I think I have an account that I used to share with someone." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then he's like, "Yeah, but I haven't logged into it in a long time." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" And each "are you sure" that I'm saying is progressively getting more aggressive. And he can tell. Like, he is like, oh shit. Because obviously he wouldn't fucking tell me. He would have just been like, "Yeah, I only have one. Like, shut the fuck up," you know? So, yeah. So I kept getting aggressive after each "are you sure" I had to ask. By the end, he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure." So I have the TikTok account, gato6767, pulled up on his phone, logged in and everything, with the messages right there. And this is literally like, I can't believe this happened. I'm like, damn. I should be like, I don't know. I should like open up a business of like, I don't know. Anyways, so I have the phone and I'm like, "So what the fuck is this?" And keep in mind, this is also all happening in Spanish. I don't know if I'm saying the correct words because it takes me a minute to process Spanish and then convert it into English in my brain and then convert it back to Spanish. So I don't know, but I'm fucking mad. I am livid. I'm like, why the fuck are you lying to me? Like, I'm not even hurt. It's more so the fact that you're sitting here and you think I'm fucking stupid when I literally have your fucking account. And he's like, he literally, you cannot, he looked so like bamboozled. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what word to use, but he looked very, very like, damn, like I just got caught up. And guess what he was saying? You know, someone in their right mind would have been like, I'm sorry, you got me." He's like, "No, I didn't, that wasn't me. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. How are you gonna say it's not you? Like, how are you gonna say, like, shut the fuck up?" And I literally was like, how the fuck is this not you? And I was like, so how many times, so you just get home and you delete Gmail every time? Like, is this what you do? And I hadn't even logged into the text free now yet. So I'm like, and then I'm like, and you you were literally posting so she could talk to you, and then you posted a number, so I'm like, I'm gonna log into that fucking account, so if I'm gonna see something, tell me right now. And he's like, no, it wasn't me, I swear. So I go on the text now numbers or whatever, and I try logging in kind of the same way, like using his number or using his email, as he's like telling me, like, this is how you know you're guilty. Well, actually, no, this is how you know you're scared, because anyone would have just snatched their phone right back, but he was like almost scared to like approach me, which completely understandable. Because I told him, like, do not yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But he he looked kind of scared, and I was like, I'm logging into this, and I couldn't log in. Like, I was trying like all of the emails. Oh, also his Gmail had like 5 different Gmails or emails. I'm sorry, his like Gmail had 5 different emails logged in. So I can only imagine like how many accounts he might have. I don't know. So hi Gato 6767. Yeah. So so I couldn't log into the text free numbers or whatever, but he's literally telling me like, it wasn't me, it was my friend, and then he's blaming it on one of his friends that he doesn't even talk to anymore. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. And I start bringing up the fact that he keeps deleting messages. I'm so sorry, but like the DL allegations, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He was deleting messages in between, like, it's this guy that, like, he was a family friend or whatever, but he's gay, and like he would delete their messages, and then this other guy that like gives gay vibes, and he would delete their messages too. So I don't know. I genuinely don't know, and it sucks that I have to admit, but I wouldn't be surprised. I literally wouldn't be surprised. And so I start bringing that up. That he said nothing about that, which is still insane to me, but like he said nothing about that, but he kept saying it wasn't him, like the account or whatever. And at this point, I'm getting irritated. Actually, no, I'm not even irritated. I'm literally about to like fucking get visible. And I told him to get out. I just gave him his phone before I like hit him. And yes, I hit him, or I like slapped the fuck out of him. Before I did that though, I gave him his phone and like told him like, leave, like please leave, because just leave. And he would not leave, and he was just telling me like, it wasn't me. I can show you. And then I'm like, okay, so show me. So this time, like, we're like going into his room. Like, we kind of like made ourselves out of my room, and now we're in his room. So I'm like, so show me. And I give him the phone. He's like, okay, but let me go on it. And I'm like, no, show me. Like, I have the phone, and he's like trying to take it from me so he can show me. But I'm like, no, I can fucking pull it up. You're gonna try to delete something. And he's like, no, it wasn't me. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And I slapped the dog shit out of him. And then he sent me, anyways, I have a text message of like WhatsApp, because I fucking deleted, or I had blocked him on like all my, any like contacts or whatever, but I had WhatsApp. So fucking Latin love story, I don't know. But I had WhatsApp, and he texted me, like, we were exchanging words after this happened, and he was like, oh, like, you broke my jaw. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like, I'm not sorry, but So that happened. He's claiming it wasn't him, and I'm just like, fuck you. And then what's funny about this whole thing is that now he's trying to flip it on me, and I have a feeling he has a tracker in my car. I'm gonna take my car to the shop tomorrow, like a body shop, to see, because it is all starting to click. But he thinks just there's some information that side of the, I don't even know how to call it. It's there's some information that like they should not know, but one, it's not even correct information, like from where I moved to. But yeah, like where I left my car, that makes a lot of sense. So now I am scared that he is going to find out where I live. So I will be doing that. Maybe making a police report. Definitely. I don't know if the no caller IDs keep happening, which they haven't. Only that one from the last video, but I will be having to do that. So we'll see what's next. But yeah, anyways, he is telling like my family, because he's more cool with my family than I am with my own family, if that makes sense. That's just the relationship. I'm not gonna say too much on that, but people get mad. But he was telling and claiming that I cheated on him, and that's the reason that we broke up. No, baby. Especially like the allegations are real, because he's claiming that I cheated on him with an ex-boyfriend, which I have not seen in like years. It literally has been years. If I did cheat on him, I literally would not be scared to admit it right now, because what the fuck do I gotta lose? I'm out of there. Like, so yeah. So yeah, it's but what makes me think that he's tracking my car also was because he was heartbroken the first few days. And then I think like a week in, I went to the mall with an old friend of mine, who is a male. And I didn't get home till pretty late, I'm not gonna lie. But I fucking got food on the way home. Like, you know, I had stuff to do after. So I went to the mall with someone, and I get home to shower, and then he gets off work late, and then he goes into the bathroom. He like literally barges in. I'm showering, and he's like, how do I translate this? He goes like, oh, you were gonna act like you were innocent, blah blah blah. And I'm like, keep in mind this is like after everything, after the phone thing. So I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, you were gonna act innocent. And then like he's trying to like, I don't even know if that's like manipulate or like gaslight. But again, I still don't care because I'm like, okay. Like, okay. And I'm like, did he go through my phone? Because I did leave my phone in my room. And obviously like I didn't change the password or anything. But I had texted the dude that I met with, like my friend or whatever. I texted him on Instagram. So I'm like, okay, like he probably went through my phone. Oh my God, it's not charging.
How do you just disregard everything that man said just to sleep with him? Wild. But hey, men have been doing that to women their whole lives. So I guess some women are now returning the favor and using them for exactly what they're good for. No feelings, no strings, just business. And honestly, good for her. The audacity to be upset about it when your whole gender invented the playbook is hilarious to me. And the way she called her ex and put him in his place, I guarantee he didn't know what to say. Probably had every excuse ready, and she shut every single one of them down before he could even open his mouth. If I had to guess where she's from based on how she was speaking, I'd say New York City or New Jersey. No question. That energy doesn't come from anywhere else. He can't give her the O because he's the one receiving. Let that man live his truth and let her go find her happiness. Those two things can exist at the same time. I wouldn't be able to speak either. Being used as a beard is nasty work, but I'm glad she made it to the other side and found out what she actually deserves. Tina had never had an orgasm in 20 years of marriage and was still debating leaving. 20 years. Let that sink in. That's not love at that point. That's fear dressed up as loyalty. The scary part is she genuinely couldn't tell the difference until she was forced to look at it directly. That's what happens when you've been in survival mode so long that settling starts to feel like stability. Jerry was cheating repeatedly, going to church more than his wife, never satisfying her. The picture was always there. Sometimes we see it and just don't want it to be true. So we wait for more evidence when the evidence is already everywhere. Hold up. You just let me in on something new about the messages? What? That changes everything. You should genuinely make a class teaching women like you how to pull IP addresses, track fake accounts, and expose the whole operation. Charge whatever you want. Women would sign up immediately. Why do men go out of their way to do all this weird, elaborate stuff instead of just leaving? The amount of energy that goes into the lie versus just being honest is insane to me. I will never understand it, and I need real answers. Same with the TikTok situation. That man handed himself over on a silver platter. The fake account, the nickname, the spelling quirk, the IP address traced back to his own router. Like he built the trap and walked into it himself. When someone is moving that sloppy, it's usually one of two things. They either want to get caught on some level, or they genuinely underestimate you. Either way, it's their loss. Which brings me to the most important thing. Never let someone convince you that you're not smart enough to see what's right in front of you. Both of these women were being gaslit by proximity. When you're that close to a situation, when you love someone, when your whole life is wrapped up in them, the obvious becomes invisible. It's not stupidity, it's intimacy being used against you. The moment you get distance, even just a little, everything snaps into focus. And that's exactly what happened to both of them.
Let me tell y'all about this time I thought I had a friend. So during this time I was in nursing school, and you know when you're in nursing school, the girls that you are in school with, you pretty much, those become your friends. Like you find your clique there because you spend so much time in school with these people. So it was a friend trio that we had. None of us, now mind you, the school that we attended, no one really lived in that city, so everybody drove into school. So when you were at school, you were pretty much there for the day. So like I said, you spent a great deal of time with these people. So we met this girl, me and one of my friends, we're still friends. Like I said, we met this girl, and I thought we was vibing, thought we was building. You know, we studied together, we went to lunch together, we talked outside of school, we made plans together. And then just all of a sudden one day she came to school and she just was not dealing with us. Like, she wasn't talking, she didn't sit with us, like nothing. She just was like, you would have thought she never knew us. So we thought like maybe, okay, she going through something at home. She was married, she had children, she in nursing school. Like, nobody's petty. Like, okay, we still being a friend. Like, girl, you good? You, is there anything you need? And it was just, oh no, I'm good. Just real dry. You know, I ain't been feeling good. And this was every day. Like, every day I don't feel good. To the point where we got the hint, we just kind of let her be. So after graduation, everybody kind of like went their own separate ways, but it was never no beef. It was just kind of like, okay, nursing school is over. You know, everybody's in the real world. We were all friends on social media still. Excuse me. So like maybe like a year after that, this girl reached out to me and she's like, hey, how you been? You know, I'm like, I'm good. You know, I'm good to hear from you. You know, so we ended up chatting a good bit, and we're talking or whatever, just catching up. And she ended up like, hey, we should get together one day. You know, let's do something. Because by this time, you know, we're talking every day. She's kind of confiding in me, venting to me about some things that she's going through. And me, I'm naturally a nurturer. Like, if you're around me, I'm gonna uplift you, I'm gonna motivate you. You know, that's just what I do. Like, that's just who I am. And so she was like always like overly complimenting me. She's like, oh my God, you so perfect, you so this, you this, you that. And I'm like, oh, thank you. You know, I'm very humble. I'm a very humble girl or whatever. So that was a red flag. That's a red flag. But anyway, so we ended up rekindling our friendship. We connect with the other girl that was friends with us, and after one night of hanging out, she's like, hey, did you see how she looked at you? Do you see the comment she made about when we were talking about, I think we were talking about like working out, getting in shape. And my other friend made a comment, was like, you don't need to get in shape, you're already perfect. And I didn't think no more about that. So, but later she brought it up and was like, do you see the comment she made? I was like, yeah, but I don't think she meant anything by it. And I didn't take offense to it. But I did to her, I was like, how do you think we're gonna be friends if you're trying to plant seeds in my head about our other friend, making me think that she's saying something against me? You know, I was like, you can't do that, it's not gonna work. So fast forward, okay, so the girl, she ended up like, she's like, I want to hang out with you and your other friends, your other friend group. So I'm telling my other friend group at this time, okay, I'm back. I'm telling my other friend group, like, hey, there's this girl, y'all, she's sweet, she seemed cool, you know, she really in the house, she don't really get out like that, she ain't got no friends, you know, like, but she cool, you know. I'm like, we going to Miami, so we extend the invite. I was like, she married, let me tell her the dates, let me tell her the itinerary, she can run it by her husband, and if she's open to coming, then we're open to her coming, you know, come on, let's have a good time, it's a girls trip. So the trip comes up, she's like, oh, I can't make it, you know, whatever, y'all have fun. I'm like, okay, cool. So I come back from the trip, me and her on the phone, we're talking, and she's telling me, she's like, yeah, my husband saw a picture of you on the beach and saw a picture of you in your bikini in Miami. And I'm like, I said, how'd your husband see me on my social media? I said, because I don't add people's husbands. That's one thing you ain't got to worry about. You don't have to worry about me as your friend going to add your man, your husband, nobody that you're dealing with. I don't do that. So how is he seeing my pictures? She's like, oh no, I was looking at your it popped up on my timeline and I was sitting down looking at it, and he happened to walk by and he came and sat beside me. So red flag go off in my head. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, you stayed on my profile long enough for your husband to come and sit down and make a comment about me? Like, for one, I'm in a bikini. It's very much appropriate. I'm in Miami, I'm on the beach, so I'm not out of order here. You and your husband out of order, somebody out of order. So she was like, yeah, he kind of like made the comment like, oh, I don't want you hanging with them. Like, we wasn't doing anything that could have been considered inappropriate, feel like that. So I'm like, okay, cool. But you cannot let your husband have a bad thought in his head about us and think that he's going to allow you to come and hang out with us. Like, that doesn't work. So then, like, every time I would talk to her, she would tell me that her husband has made a comment about me, or he feels a way about me. And I'm like, dang, what happened? Like, I don't even know your husband, for one. Like, why does he feel comfortable commenting on me? He doesn't even know me. Okay, fast forward, maybe like a couple months down the line, she ends up talking to me and telling me that she's met this dude. She's still married. she's met this dude, and she's like, oh, he must have found me on your social media, maybe one time when you posted me on your social media. But I couldn't say for sure if I'd ever tagged her, because I don't generally tag people on my social media, because I don't want you to have unwanted attention or unnecessary attention on your page coming from my page, you know. So I don't really do that. But whatever, that's what she said, so I just let it fly, because I couldn't say 100% that I never tagged her in anything. So she's telling me about the dude. She's like, yeah, his name is this, and I see that you and him are friends on Facebook as well. I'm like, oh, really? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. It wasn't long before every time I talked to her, this dude had something to say about me and my husband. And I'm like, I don't know this guy. I was like, tell me more about him, because I don't want somebody out here that know everything about me and my husband, or think they know everything about me and my husband, and we have no idea who he is. Because at this point, I took the conversation to my husband. I'm like, do you know this guy? He's like, no, I don't know him. Never heard of him. I'm like, me either. That's crazy, because he's actually from our neck of the woods and she's not. So, okay, fast forward. I end up asking her. I was like, does it not feel weird to you that every time you talk to him, he's got something to say about me? I was like, if y'all are supposed to be a thing or whatever y'all got going on, I was like, why do you let him talk about me? I was like, I would feel a way if I'm dating a guy and he's always bringing up my homegirl. Like, he's always commenting on her social media or something that she's posted. Like, and I don't post really crazy stuff. Like, I would just post regular stuff, and sometimes I'll be dressed up. I have my jewelry on, gifted to me by my husband, you know. And she made the comment that he said, oh, she's flashy. I couldn't date a woman like that. She wouldn't be my type. I couldn't date her. And I told her, I was like, good, because I'm not on the market to be dated. And that's weird for him to say that, you know. And I did tell her, I was like, you know, you ain't gonna be able to keep telling me all the stuff that this dude is saying about me, because eventually I'm gonna confront him. Like, I'm just not that person. You cannot keep coming. If you don't want your name in something, don't come telling me what somebody done said, because I'm gonna go to them and I'm gonna ask them what they said, and I'm gonna tell them you said it. So if you said something too, you need to be prepared to tell me what you said. So she just kind of like let it fly or whatever. So I'm just building a case at this point, because now at this point you getting a little weird to me, you know, you getting strange, odd. So she's telling me the story. So at this time, I still didn't cut her off, but I was already on guard with a lot of things. Like, she was already like on my radar for like, okay, I'm gonna have to watch you, you know, like, I don't know what it is, but it's something with you. So, but you know, at the time, she like, I don't have no friends, I'm in the house. And I know how it is when you in mom mode, you in wife mode, and you really, all you do is that, you know. So that's what I'm thinking, this is where she coming from. Like, I'm thinking this is why she don't got no friends, you know. And she's telling me like all these past situations, like how her friends have done her, how her family has done her, you know, everybody's been jealous of her. She told me that she went to a hotel, like she went out of town with somebody she considered to be a best friend at the time, and the girl brought her boyfriend, and her boyfriend brought a friend that raped her in the hotel, you know. And I'm like, girl. And she was like, yeah, I never said anything. I was like, you never said anything? And I was like, not I meant to say great. Okay. Anyway, and I was like, you never said anything? I was like, not even to your best friend? I was like, that wouldn't have went like that. Like, I was like, oh my God, that is terrible. So it didn't stop there. At the time, it did not stop there. So there was this one time, the last time, the final straw, she called me and she's like, yeah, the dude that I'm talking to, he said this about your husband. He said this. And I'm like, okay. I said, you know I'm going to ask him, right? I hope you know that when you hang with this phone, I'm about to ask him. Because he's on my social media. I didn't even know we were friends, but apparently we are. She know we're friends because I guess maybe she went through my friends list or typed his name in my friends list and saw that we were friends. So when we got off the phone, I immediately contacted this dude on social media. And I was like, yo, why you always speaking on me and my husband? Like, every time I turn around, you know, you got something to say about us. Like, I don't even know you. Whatever you and her got going on, that's between y'all, you know. But what's the issue with me and my husband? Y'all, this man asked me, he said, can you call me? Before I called him, he wrote me back. He says, yo, he was like, I'm locked up. He was like, I've been locked up for 10 years. He's like, I don't even know you. He was like, I don't know you or your husband. He was like, matter of fact, I wouldn't even know who you were if it weren't for your friend bringing you to my attention. Y'all, everything this girl was telling me, this is just scratching the surface, so it don't be long. This girl done came back and told me stuff that her, like, she would post me she would repost my stuff on her social media, and she would just be hyping me up, and like, but she'll come back and tell me that her family, like the girls in her family, was like, oh, who is that? Who you hanging with? Who is she? Oh, did she get her body done? Where she got her body done at? telling me that the dude was like, oh, she act different now that she got her body done. I'm like, I never knew this dude. He ended up telling me, he was like, I asked him, I was like, and you follow her from my social media? He was like, no. He said, I already knew her. He said, she used to be a nurse at the jail that I'm at, the prison I'm locked up at. He was like, I started dating her when she was working here as a nurse. Okay, part 2 on the time I thought I had a friend, but she was just a weirdo. She was just a weird, you know what. So yeah, I ended up talking to the guy, and he was telling me that he's incarcerated. He said, I'm in prison. I'm still in prison. I've been in prison for the last 10 years. He's like, I don't know you. I know nothing about you. I don't know your husband. He said, the only reason I even know who you are is because she brought you to my attention. She brought you up to me. She showed you to me. Like, she basically pointed you out, brought you to the forefront to me. So when I'm asking him about these, I'm basically confronting him at this point. Like, I'm confronting him about everything she's ever said. And he's like, body done. He was like, I don't even know what that is. Like, he's like, girl, I've been locked up 10 years. I don't even know what you're talking about. You know, and he ends up telling me, he was like, me and her had a relationship. She also dated another guy that was here, but he is out now. He's out there in like the free world. He's released now. Whole time, the guy that he's talking about that is released is the guy that she said allegedly was the friend of her best friend's boyfriend that came to the hotel room one night and raped her. Remember, she said that I did not know him, I don't know who he was, and he raped me. She actually said that she was on her monthly. He removed her tampon and proceeded to rape her in a hotel room. And I was just appalled that she never mentioned it. She never brought it up to her best friend. Like, that just, girl, I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that even happened to you. Whole time, if this even happened, she knew the guy. She had a relationship with him. That was one of the reasons she was terminated from the prison, from what this guy is telling me. Okay, so I'm thinking now, is any of the stuff you said true? None of the stuff that you have said to me has been true. My thoughts on that is that her husband was going to find out, and because he already had some kind of preconceived notion about me, or so she say, allegedly, she was going to blame everything on me. She had already started planting the seeds and kind of writing the story so that everything would align that way, saying that he found her on my social media and things of that nature. Whole time she already knew him. So I think that she was going to pretty much use me as the scapegoat if her husband ever found out, and he would believe it because he's already thinking some type of way about me. Like, okay, yeah, that's how you met this dude off of her. You're the reason my wife is having an affair. So no, I'm not. I don't cheat. I don't cheat on my husband. That's your wife. You know, none of the stuff she said was true, guys. I don't even know who this girl was for real. Like, she was telling me that she'd had these miscarriages in nursing school, that the doctors thought she had cancer a year ago, and I would say, you never followed up. She never followed up on the cancer. She was just like very like nonchalant about it. But like I said, every time you turn around, she was sick. So that's why I was like, okay, I think this girl, you lying. Like, I don't know why you sick every day. Something wrong with you every single day. You don't go to the doctor. You don't follow up. You're not taking no medication. You know. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking like mental illness at this point. I'm thinking like something is mentally off with her. So there was also a time, I'm gonna wrap this video up because it's just so much weird stuff. Like, I don't even know what to call this, y'all. During this time, there was a period of time where we both were applying to a bridge program for our RN. We had our LPN at the time, and so we were going to try to get into the bridge program. The program required you to take this standardized test. You had to score a certain thing on the test for admission to the program. The test was proctored. It was like a live proctor that watched you, and the test was timed. We had our testing time at the same time, but we were testing from home. 2 different cities. I passed my test. For whatever reason, she said that she just had all these difficulties getting started with her test. She ended up using all her time and basically failing the test by like maybe a couple points. Like, basically she couldn't get into the bridge program. She was distraught over that. So I was like, reach out to the testing center, reach out to the people, let them know about the difficulties you had. They ended up granting her an additional trial. Like, okay, we're gonna let you test again. So she hit me up. She's like, yo, can I, she's like, my computer is not working. She was like, and I've tried my daughter's Chromebook, it's not compatible. She was like, and I really don't have the money to go and purchase a laptop at this point. She was like, is there any way I can use your computer? So I told her, I said, yeah, absolutely. Like, where you at? You know, she was like, she told me where she was. So I agreed to meet her. We're coming from 2 different cities. I agreed to meet her. Pulled up to her, gave her my laptop. She went home. She tested. She still failed. So a couple days go by at this point. I'm waiting for my laptop back. So I'm hitting her up. I'm like, hey, girl, are you available to meet me today so I can get my computer from you? Because at the end of the day, this is my laptop. Like, I have personal things on this computer, which, looking back, it probably wasn't this. I should not even have let her use my computer, but I was being a friend, or so I thought. So she just, like, started giving me the runaround, saying, like, oh, I'm sick today. Hello. She just started getting, like, I could, in her tone, she had an attitude, or she was, like, dry, or she was saying, like, I'm headed out of town, or I got a migraine today, this, that, and the third. So it's been, like, a week at this point. So now I'm starting to get an attitude with her. I'm, like, starting to get a little nasty with her. Like, girl, meet me and give me my computer. Because at this point, what you got going on? Like, for real. So I pull up to meet her. When I pull into the parking spot to meet her, she don't even get out the car, y'all. She stays seated in the driver's seat, and my computer is in her back seat. So I got to get out of my car, come to her car while she sit in the car, and go to her back seat and get my computer, which was weird because that wasn't the energy in which I gave you my computer, right? I didn't have the energy when I brought you the computer, but now you got this like weird energy. But y'all, as I'm walking to the car, she's recording me. She like has her phone down like this, and she's recording me walking to the car. I see that, and I put my hand up. I'm like, oh, don't stop recording me. Like, I look a mess. I didn't look a mess, but I didn't want to be recorded because, mind you, every time she posts me on something on her social media, you come back and tell me that your family got something to say about me, like the girls in your family are making comments about me. So like, I rather don't even post me, girl, like, because I'm already weirded out, I'm aggravated with you. Don't post me. Why are you recording me? I don't even know. But either way, she's like got the phone down and she's recording me. And I know she's recording me because I later see myself on her snap. She posted me walking to her car on her snap. So yeah, y'all, it just got like super weird, y'all. But let me tell you something. So after the little this happened before I ended up confronting the dude. But when after I confronted the dude, I cut her off completely. Like, I had nothing else to say to her. I didn't say another word to her. I didn't explain to her. I didn't tell her what she did. I didn't tell her what he said. You don't have to tell people what they doing. People know when they being weird. People know exactly what they be doing. I started getting all these, I blocked her phone number. She started texting me from like all these texting apps. She was inboxing me from Facebook. Like, I could see them. They would drop down my notification screen. So I was reading them, and then she would unsend them. She would send me a long text, and then she would unsend it. And then she just like got to the point where she was like, well, if you're going to block me, she was like, no. She was like, tell me what I did to you. Please tell me what I did. Oh my God, what did you block me? She was like, she just kept going like back and forth, like she was in a manic episode. She was like, you were a good friend to me. And I'm like, I know I was a good friend to you. I know this. You know, she's like, well, if you're gonna block me, then you need to block him too. His at name is this. And I'm like, okay. So basically what you're saying is, if you're gonna block me, get my man off your social media. Cool. Y'all, probably a couple years, maybe 2 years went by after that. I moved completely different states. I moved out of town. I'm working as a 1099 nurse at this time. So I go to this facility for the first time. Tell me why I walk in the door and I'm looking at the assignment sheet trying to figure out where I'm supposed to go. I see my name. Tell me why I see her name on the other unit. She's the nurse working on the other unit. I immediately called my homegirl. I'm like, you ain't gonna believe this. So we working. She come in. She's not on my unit. She's assigned to a unit on the other side of the building. But she has the assignment sheet over there too, so she can see my name, that I'm the nurse on the other side. She makes her way to that side. Y'all, I'll tell y'all, I know how to be professional. I never brought it up. I didn't mention it. I kept it very professional and work related. Anything, she just kept trying to make conversation with me. Like, I would look up and she's standing beside me. Like, I'm so deep in thought because this is my first time at this facility. I don't know the patients. I don't know anything about the building. So I'm like deep in my computer, in my med rig. I'm just trying to do my job. I literally would look up and she's standing shoulder to shoulder to me, and I'm looking at her and I'm not saying anything. Like, what's up? She's like, do you got some spoons over here? Spoons? They're right here on the cart, but you've passed the nutrition room? You've passed all these nurses, all these med cards to come and ask me, do I have spoons over here? Okay, girl, get the spoons and go ahead. I'm in my patient's room. I'm trying to flush a G-tube. I'm trying to flush a G-tube. I look beside me, y'all, literally standing beside me in my patient's room. It's her asking me about treatments. Like, girl, I don't know. From my understanding, like what I later found out is that she frequently worked at this building, so she knew the building. So her just being in my space was her just trying to make conversation and just be around me for whatever reason. Like, it was given like obsession. So none of the people in that building knew me. That was my first time in the building. They didn't know the history that me and her had or anything. They were making comments to her like, you sure have been on this side of the building all day. Like, when you gonna go to your side and do work? And she's laughing it off, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, so I'm not just tripping. Like, you have literally been on my unit the entire day. I told my husband, when I get off this shift, I'm never coming back here. I'm never coming back here because I just don't know what she's on. Like, she give me mental, like, I felt like I was in a Lifetime movie. The next day, y'all, it's maybe 8 o'clock at night. I'm at a different facility working. I get a text from a Charlotte number. And the text said, hey, I hope you don't mind me texting you, but I have a question. I immediately know, like, I know this girl. This better not be this girl. I said, who is this? I could see the bubbles like popping up, and then they would go away, and they would pop up. Like, she was thinking about her next move. Like, should I say who I am? Like, how's she gonna act? How's she gonna say? And she ended up saying her name. My next question was, how did you get my number? She said, I got your number from the scheduler. They were wondering if you were coming in the other day. So I got your number. I was going to call you and ask you if you were going to show up. First off, that's a violation. That's an HR violation. And I don't even believe that the scheduler had my number because I was not an employee of that building. If anything, my recruiter, my agency would have had my number. They would have reached out to me. If they had questions about if I was going to show up to work or if I was going to come to my shift, they would have reached out to my recruiter, and my recruiter would have reached out to me. They did not have my direct contact. And maybe some kind of way they did. I don't know. But either way, for you to go and get my contact information after I had blocked you for years, like for giving me stalker vibes, obsession vibes, and you went and got my and you went to great lengths to get my contact information and reach out to me. Why would you even think that after all these years and after what you did to me and the stuff that you put me through that I would be open to talking to you? Like, if I wanted to talk to you, I would have talked to you before now. Like, that's just not cool. Like, I never picked back up a shift at that building or anything. Like, it was just super weird to me. And y'all, even to this day, like, I'll catch her, like, maybe about a month ago, I just happened to be looking through my viewers on Facebook. Her name was up there. Her name was up there, like, no hiding, no anything. Like, she's probably on this video right now. Like, she's probably on my TikTok. I've just given up at this point. Like, I blocked every account that I thought belonged to her. But I'm pretty sure that she's probably watching this video with us. Yeah. That's why I say, like, I got some stories that I could tell y'all. I got some stories. Like, people out here scared of men, like men wasting their time. No, I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized from females. I'm traumatized from friendships. Like, and you got to be careful. You got to be careful of women that flatter you with compliments and that's overly complimenting you, because for the same reasons that they admire you, those turn out to be the same reasons that they become jealous of you. Like, I don't even play with that envy stuff no more. Like, I don't play with that. The first time a person showed me that they might be jealous of me, and as a humble person, you just don't even think that somebody's jealous of you. You be thinking, like, jealous of me for what? Like, no, they can't. No, that ain't. No, but that's exactly what it be. So now the first time somebody give me signs of they jealous of me, or they envious, or you overly complimenting me, you got to get from around me. You got to get from around me. Like, this is, yeah, I don't even know what to call this. Like, I almost want to diagnose her with some type of personality disorder or something. I don't know, but yeah. So what I'm gathering is everything that she was telling me that people were saying about me, her husband, her lover, her family, her friends, these were her thoughts. But because she didn't know how to say it, she outsourced it and made it seem like somebody else was saying these things about me. But what really threw the red flag for me was every single time we talked, she had something to tell me that somebody had said about me. So at a certain point in the friendship, I started to, the conversations, I was entertaining them just because I was just building a case. It was merely like entertainment at this point, because I'm just waiting to see who said something about me today. What did your husband say about me today? what did your boyfriend say about me today? Oh, what did your cousin say? Because I knew it was coming. So I was pretty much just building the case. It was pure like entertainment at some point. It was like I already knew something was off. So I'm answering the phone and I'm listening to you because I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for that day, you know. But like I said, I feel like these were all her thoughts. She felt these ways. These are all the things that she admired about me, but they all ultimately caused her to envy me for the same reasons. And I feel like with these men, if this is a conversation that they had, like the guy said, she brought me up. She brought me up and she would use me as bait. Like, hey, I know that there's a chance that you may see my homegirl on your social media. So let me show her to you. Let me say something about her. And if you join in with me to talk about her, or I need to hear you say something negative about her to let me know, to reassure me that she's not your type. Like, I need to know what you think about her. You know, and it's just the weirdest thing. Like, females can be some of the weirdest creatures. Like, bro, I do not play with females no more. I'm traumatized from women. Like,
Sometimes the people with the least friends are actually the realest ones in the room. So I'm not out here labeling everybody with a small circle as a red flag. Big friend groups give fake just as much, if not more. You don't need a lot of people around you, but if you cannot name one single person who rocks with you genuinely, that's something to pay attention to. The only exception I'll give is when somebody is genuinely tight with their family. Cousins, siblings, that counts. That's real. But outside of that, no friends and no explanation for why, I'm watching you. And pay attention to how they explain it too. Because there's a difference between, I'm just private and I keep a small circle, and everybody I've ever been close to has done me wrong. My family is jealous of me. My old friends were haters. My coworkers were messy. If every single relationship in your life has ended because of what someone else did to you, and you have played zero part in any of it, that's a pattern, and you're standing in the middle of it. And the begging to be your friend thing, the you're so perfect, you're so this, you're so that on repeat, that's not admiration. That's a setup. We're conditioned to just say thank you and keep it moving because we don't want to be rude about a compliment. But somebody hyping you up too hard, too fast, too often is actually a warning. Admiration and envy live right next door to each other, and the line between them is thin. She even caught it in the moment and still brushed past it, which is so human, but that's exactly how it gets you. Because when someone puts you on a pedestal that fast, they're not really seeing you. They're projecting something onto you, and pedestals are unstable. What goes up that fast can come crashing down just as quick the moment you do something that doesn't fit the image they built in their head. Then, the pattern of somebody always having something to say about you every single time you talk. Once, fine. Twice, okay. But every phone call, there's a new person with a fresh opinion about you. At some point, the common denominator isn't all these random people. It's the one person delivering the message every time. She figured it out, just took a minute to trust what she already knew. And honestly, that's one of the most underrated skills you can develop. Learning to ask yourself why someone keeps bringing certain information to you. What is the purpose of you knowing this? Who benefits from you hearing this? Because sometimes people aren't gossiping, they're weaponizing. They're slowly shaping how you see yourself through the eyes of people who allegedly can't stop talking about you. And if you're not careful, you start to believe the narrative before you even realize one was being written. The scapegoat situation was the part that genuinely unsettled me, though. That wasn't messy behavior. That was methodical. The husband already had a bad impression planted. The "he found her through your social media" story was already in place. If everything unraveled, the narrative was ready to go, and someone else was going to take the blame for it. You don't stumble into that kind of setup. That's built on purpose. And the scary part is, you usually only see it clearly once you're already out of it. That's what makes this type of person so dangerous. They're not operating off emotion in the moment. They're thinking 3 steps ahead while you're just trying to be a good friend. You're being genuine, and they're playing chess. And the worst part is that by the time you realize the game was even happening, they've already got pieces in position you didn't even notice them moving. The laptop moment was where I was like, no, because her gut was already talking to her by then. She already knew something was off. And that's the thing about being a naturally giving, nurturing person. It's genuinely one of the most beautiful qualities you can have. And it is exactly what certain people come looking for. Not to match it, to drain it. There's a certain type of person who is magnetically drawn to warm, generous, uplifting energy, not because they want to grow from it, but because they want to consume it. They want to sit in your light without ever doing the work to generate their own. And the runaround with getting the laptop back wasn't even really about the laptop. It was the first moment the mask slipped and the contempt came through. Because that's what it was. You gave something freely and generously, and the energy you got back when you simply asked for your own property was pure irritation. Like, how dare you want something back? That tells you everything. And then running into her years later at that facility, and she spent the entire shift on the wrong side of the building. That's not coincidence. That's not just being friendly. That's someone who never actually dealt with being cut off. And here's what people don't talk about enough. When you cut someone off cleanly, no big argument, no explanation, no dramatic fallout, just silence. It drives a certain type of person absolutely crazy because they can't fix a story they were never given. They can't defend themselves against a charge that was never read out loud. And for someone who has spent so much energy crafting narratives, the silence becomes unbearable. So they chase. The texting apps after being blocked, the unsent paragraphs, tracking down a number through a scheduler after years of silence. That's not missing a friend. That's someone who needed closure that they were never entitled to in the first place. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. Not everyone deserves the gift of knowing exactly where they went wrong with you. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is just disappear and let them sit with it. The thing I keep coming back to at the end of all of this is that she said something that really landed. Everything this girl was telling her that other people were saying, those were her own thoughts, her own feelings. She just outsourced them, couldn't say them directly, so she put them in other people's mouths and delivered them like news. That's such a specific kind of psychological behavior that once you see it, you genuinely cannot unsee it. And it reframes the whole story. This wasn't really about the husband or the incarcerated guy or any of these other people. It was always about her and how she felt sitting next to someone she both admired and resented. That combination will make a person do things that don't even make logical sense from the outside looking in. Jealousy with no outlet turns into obsession real quick. And the saddest part is, she probably doesn't even fully understand why she did half of what she did. So yeah, vet your people. Go slow. Watch how they talk about others. Watch what they do with the access you give them. And when something feels off, trust that feeling even when you can't explain it yet. Your gut is building a case before your brain catches up. Sonnet 4.6, Extended. Claude is AI and can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.